All right, everybody. We are going to play a quick game of APBA 1970. I picked up this set for about $60. Comes with extra players. Not many, of course, but back in the early 70s, this is 1970, they didn't really have a big roster that they kind of sent guys down, brought guys up, and so on and so forth. This is CP Cards and Dice, and welcome to a presentation of the 1970 Tom Seaver season. We are in Pittsburgh. It is Seaver versus Blass. Mets and the Pirates, 1970. The Mets are coming off a season where they go to the World Series and beat the highly favored Baltimore Orioles. So that's exciting. And the Mets have pretty much the same team. Tommy Agee in center field. Harrelson is shortstop. Foy, new third baseman because Ed Charles retired. Jones in left field batting cleanup. He had an amazing season, batted .340 in 1969. Shamsky batting fifth. Swoboda batting sixth in right field. Shamsky's at first base. Swoboda in right field. Then batting seventh is Wayne Garrett, the second baseman. Jerry Grody, the catcher, and Tom Seaver. Now, this is one of my most beloved games. It plays very quickly, and if you want to get the updated, new, modern cards with extra players, it's going to cost you over $100 easily. If you play with these old school cards, which is just the basic game, you can get them. This actually went a little bit more expensive than your 80s. You can get 80s sets for maybe $40. This was a little bit more because it's the early 70s, and guys right now, have money to spend. If they're from that age group that they were born in 1970, if they were playing APBA in 1970, and that's their area of comfort, their nostalgia zone, by this point in their lives, they're going to have money to spend, and so $10, $20, $30. Their kids are out of the house. The kids are making their own money. Their house is paid for. It doesn't matter. That's why do you think you get guys paying $200, $300, $400, $500 for Stratomatic seasons? It's because of that. It's just because guys have their pensions. Back then, you did have pensions. Right now, it's very unusual that anybody has a pension. It's just a handful of jobs that may have that available to them, and that's always in danger, especially with the speculation that goes on in Wall Street. A lot of the pension funds are run by the speculators, the hedge fund managers at Wall Street. So anyway, I had a friend who had a 401k and had $80,000 in it, and when the economic crash happened in 2008, he ended up pulling out $7,000. So you could say, well, if he would have waited, but you don't think that way. You're like, holy crap, I lost all my money. How far? I mean, is it going to go down to zero? Will I ever get my money back? People become afraid. And he said, well, let me take out something. Something is better than nothing. When you see your money, every day goes down and down and down and down and down. All of a sudden, you're like, oh, no, wait. If I would have taken it out yesterday, I would have made money. If I would have taken it out the day before, I would have made money. If I would have taken it out last week, I would have made money. Anyway, this is not economics class. So let's move forward. Let's get the game started. Let me grab some dice. I don't have the yellow shaker, but I will use let me pull the label off this thing. There we go. I get some dice. I do have some dice out here. I'm playing outdoors by the fire. Created the fire. We got to get a red die and a white die for APBA. Oh, that's classic APBA. Got a red and white. And there are some other colors. All right, so let's get started. And I have the classic boards here. I have it on runner on first, and then I have it for runner on second base. And then I can reach out. I'm going to have these other ones right here to my left. All right, so I hope everybody's doing. Hey, who's there? Molly's there. You don't need many players for 1970. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. And Out Red Sox fan says, hello. Have you seen Joe has put up a Yes, I saw that. 1986 score sheet, pre-filled. You can get that in Digi Dugout, but what you can't get is with the with all the ratings. He did it with the ratings. So that, of course, makes your life way easier. And I don't know how long it took him to do that, but if he did that with all the different seasons that he has, oh man, that would be great. I saw that. That blew my mind. entertainment dollars, and they enjoy it. Yes, exactly, Al. That's exactly what I'm saying, and that's absolutely right. And they have those dollars. They have those dollars to spend. Uh, what's a pension LOL? And that's it, guys. All right, let's get started with this game. Let's see what happens. Tom Terrific is a B. One of the knocks on APBA Basic, this was created in the 30s, 40s, because it came out in the early 50s. So the guy was thinking about it, years before, and he's influenced by what's going on in the 30s and the 40s. So let's say it was created in the late 40s, and he was working on it. He devised it and released it by 1951. Dick Seats, I think it is, or Sites. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And so this is a game that's happened during four, you could say six, but very often like an AC or an AB. It's very unusual, but you have four ratings, grades, and that's A, B, C, and D. So it's really a offensive driven game, which gives you good results. I'm not going to lie. I've done a bunch of replays. I did the Koufax replay, very, very close. I did a Seaver replay, very, very close. I mean, the system is fundamentally sound. It's 101, right? It's 101 percentages, and proportions and those things. And they didn't tinker with it too much, and they didn't try to get, to really reinvent the wheel or anything. They just said, let's do this based on percentages in the story. It's not going to always be exact, but it's going to be pretty darn close. But what a lot of guys say is, then they created the Merino boards, which gives you more pitcher ratings, more pitcher grades, like 30. And then of course you have the dramatic APBA advanced game, which that is fairly traumatic for a lot of people who played basic and said, I need a little bit more. And then when they saw the complexities and the clunkiness of that APBA master game, they were just like, whoa, they were just blown back, and I don't think they ever recovered. So it has but there are guys that swear by it. They say, oh, I play with my eyes closed. Hey, more power to you, brother. Your brain, you may have a genius brain. My brain is a slow one. Let's get going here. Tommy Agee against Steve Blass, who is famous for later towards the end of his career, lost total control. He had a good season. He came back the next season, and he was walking every other batter. It was amazing. You got to look up the stats for the last two seasons of Steve Blass. He's known for having just lost total control of his pitches. Anyway, here's first pitch to Agee, and that's a 53. That's a 17. So we're going to look at our 17. I used there's a little advanced within the basic, and I use that for the fielding. We're going to look at in right field. Who's out there in right field? It's going to be Clemente. Oh, he's a 3, so he's going to catch that. I don't even have to look. All right, so Clemente's there. All right, here goes Buddy Harrelson, and that's a fly to left field. Over his in left field is Willie Stargell. Buddy Harrelson has a really good fielding card. And now it's Joe Foy, new third baseman for the Mets for 1970. That's a 12. And then the old boards is a strikeout. In the new boards, I think it's a 5-3 ground out. So we're going to make a 5-3. And that's 3 up and 3 down in that inning. And let's get this here a little bit. No runs and no hits. And we're going to go down to the bottom half of the inning. It's going to be Matty Alou. He's a left-handed hitter. And the cool thing about APBA Basic is that it gave you information. He's from Aina, Dominican Republic. His name is Mateo Rojas, Matty Alou. He's 5'9", 160 pounds, and he was born in 38. So here's a pitch, a 53 and a 15. That's the left field. I have those memorized. And our left fielder is Jones, and Jones goes off his glove. It's going to be an E7, and that's going to put Alou on base. All right, so who's up now? Richie Hebner. Here's a pitch to Hebner at 32, and that's a ground ball to second base. And at 26, we have our 26 is going to be a fielder's choice. Guys, this game works. I mean, this is basic stuff, but it works. Clemente now. He lines one to center field. On the run is Agee, and he tracks it down. So Clemente got good wood on that one. Drove it to center, and here's Willie Stargell with good power. Uh-oh. He swings and misses at a Seaver fastball. And that's going to be no runs, no hits, and one error, one left. Top of the second. One thing about APBA is it moves very, very fast. Here's Cleon Jones. And that's a fly ball lifted to shallow center. Racing in is Alu, and he's there for the out. Shamsky with a 64, and that is a ball. And a 42 is he a, no, it's a ball 4. So it's a walk to Shamsky. We got a runner on first and one out. Top of second. Swoboda, no score. 29. 43 is a 29 with a runner on first. That is going to be the fielder's choice unless he's a Y, and it is. So it's a strikeout. So with one out and one on, here's Wayne Garrett, 12. And that is a ground to the second, flips to the shortstop, and that retires the side. Mets lead 1, score none, and there was that walk. We got bottom of the second. Al Oliver. He's a lefty, and he grounds one to shortstop. House and scoops it, fires the first in time. One down. A righty, Gene Alley. Gene Alley is a decent shortstop, 53. That's a 19. The 19 is going to be a hit by pitch. Oh, no, that's with a runner on second. Hold on a second. I got to get the 19 is what? E5. Because he's a 3. It's actually, yep, it's an E5. So the second error by the Mets. And in the first inning, that shouldn't have been an error. So I screwed up there, but I'm not worried about that. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I was looking at the wrong board, but that's okay. I haven't played this in a while, so I have to get warmed up to it. So Alley's on first with an error, and actually, you know what? All right, May 24. That's a strikeout. If there would have been runs scored, maybe I would replay a couple of things. And a 35 is a 27 with a runner on first. And that is a ground ball. Oh, is he an X? Seaver is an X. That's a strikeout. So Seaver with 3 strikeouts so far in this game. No runs, no hits. We go to top of the third. Wayne Garrett is leading off. Wayne Garrett is a lefty. He's from Sarasota, Florida. I don't know if you visited Sarasota, Florida. All right, here is Grody. Jerry Grody. That's a 53 again. That's going to be an E6. Yeah, so far it's a cold day here in Pittsburgh, and there's a lot of errors. There's 2 errors for the Mets and 1 error now for Pittsburgh. Brody's on at first. So you're going to bunt. We're going to use the classic book, right? Which is a pain. You don't need all that, dude. You don't need a whole. Look at the size of this book. Let me see. Look at the size of this book, right? For sacrifices. It does have hit and runs as well, but that's totally. You don't need all that for it. It's ridiculous. They put more effort into. Look at this unusual error distribution chart. Look what they had in here. All right, we're on first. We're going to bunt. That's a 36 off Seaver's card. That's a 33, and that is a fielder's choice. Back to the pitcher. He goes to second. So Seaver fails to sacrifice Grody over. And at the top of the order with Seaver on first. Seaver's got his jacket on. That's a 46, and Agee swings and misses at a curveball. And now it's Harrelson with a 53. Another. Wow. And Hebner is a 3, so that's going to be a single. And runners to second base, so a ball that evades, eludes Hebner's glove at third base. Just doesn't have the range over there. Here's Foy, 23, and that's 12 with the runners on first and third. That is it's a ground ball to the first baseman. It's going to flip to the pitcher, and that retires the side. No runs, 1 hit, 2 left. Now, APBA is one of the few games that actually includes that 3-1. 90% of the games have basically avoided that. They've just been like, oh, we're not going to do a 3-1. We're just going to do a ground ball for first base. But APBA is one of the few games that actually, within the basic system, is able to create that 3-to-1 play that happens 25% of the time. Okay, so Steve Blass is up. And we're going to put, let's see if you can see this. Now, this is where I got to keep it so you can see it. Otherwise, you can't see it. Now, these cards, I picked them up. They're a little bit yellow, but what do you expect from cards that are from 1970? Come on now. 23, and that's the ground ball, second base. So it's down here. All right, I'll lose next. 56, and that's a fly to right. Who's out there? That's Swoboda. Squeezes it for the out. And Richie Hebner with 2 outs. 64, and that's a strike, a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Again, a 65, that's popped up. Pop up 35, and that's a foul grounds. Catcher Grody throws his front mask away and makes the catch. So Seaver's got a no-hitter going here. But you shouldn't say it, because once you say it, it's over. Yesterday I said it. It was 3 innings of no-hit ball, and I said it, and the next batter got a hit, just like that. All right, here is Cleon Jones, top of the 4th, no score in this game. Opening day, 1970, 32, that's grounded to second. Mazurowski, who's a highly rated defensive player. Shamsky makes the play, and that's ball 4. So that's a second walk. Second time Shamsky's walked. He's on at first. He's slow, so he's moving base to base. No one to get thrown out. That's a strikeout. Ronnie Swoboda swings at a pitch out of the strike zone. Got to show more patience than that. And here's Garrett. And that's a 34, and that's lifted deep center field. Backing up on the track is the center fielder Alu, and he hauls it in for out number 3. No runs and no hits. 1 left on that walk. It's a cold day here. Not a lot of offense. Here's Clemente. That's a ground ball. Second baseman Garrett. Over to first baseman Shamsky. Willie Stargell. And he grounds it hard up the middle. Will Harrelson get there? He does. Spins, throws it first in time to get Willie Stargell, who's a slow runner. And with 2 outs, here's Al Oliver, and that is ball 4. Oh. See below. Let me see. Okay, that's going to be a walk. So that is the first base run. Well, there's been a couple errors, so we won't have a perfect game. But here's Oliver, and that is going to be at 35. And there goes Oliver. Throw to second in time. Caught stealing. Now Oliver thrown out, stealing. Yeah, that's one weird thing about APBA, that they do that. That's no runs, no hits, no left, and top of the 5th, Jerry Grody leading us off. 46, and that's a fly to left field. Hooking away from the left fielder, Stargell, and he, in foul territory, makes the catch. Tom Seaver with a 61. That's lifted to shallow left, racing into Stargell. 2 out, and Tommy Agee with a 63. Swing and a miss. Second time he struck out. No runs, no hits. Bottom of the 5th. A good little pitcher's duel here. What happened to Ali was up when Oliver was thrown out stealing. That's a 27. That's a strikeout. That's number 5 force for Seaver. And here's May at 53 and 19. 19 is going to be E5. Third error for the Mets, and the second one on the third baseman, Joe Foy. So May is slow, so he's going to play it safe. Mazurowski's next. Here's a pitch to Maz, and that's ground ball, second base. He flips to Harrelson, throw to first, not in time for 4-6 fielder's choice. And here's the pitcher, Steve Blass. It's a 46, a 29 with a runner on first. I believe that is a comebacker to Seaver. Hauls it in over to first, and that retires the side. No runs, no hits, and error, 1 left. Top of the 6th. All right, this score sheet is brought to you by, I think this is a replay. I really like to replay baseball score sheet. Here's Buddy Howson, and that is a swing and a miss, strikeout. Next is Joe Foy with a 36, and that is a strikeout. Back-to-back Ks. That's 6 Ks. And here's Cleon Jones, and a 63 is a ground ball to short. Alley up with it and throws him out. 3 up, 3 down. We got a pitcher's duel going here. Bottom of the 6th now, top of the order. Alu leading off. Here's a pitch, and that's a strikeout. So let me see how many Seaver has. He has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strikeouts so far. Oh, my board hit the ground, dented one of the little edges, one of the corners. All right, here's Hebner's up. Let's pull his card. And that's grounded to Harrelson. Slow roller, charges it over to first, then gets Hebner, 2 down. And Roberto Clemente with a 33. Oh, that's a drive. He got a hold of that one. Drives in, hits off the top of the wall. Clemente is going to try for 2. The throw, and in time. So that's the first hit of the game here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Bobby Clemente with a 4. And a 4 is a double. All right, so Willie Stargell. And that's a fly ball center field. On the run is AG, and he tracks it down for out number 3. But unfortunately, Seaver gives up his first hit of the game. And we go to the top of the 7th. It's going to be Shamsky leading it off, and that's grounded slowly to the second baseman Mazurowski. He charges it, throws out Shamsky. Next is Ronnie Swoboda. Uh-oh, that's a deep drive. Got a hold of that. That's deep to left field. Stargell back to the track to the wall. That's out of here. Home run. Ronnie Swoboda. Holy moly, drives himself in, number 6. I do it that way now. And it's Wayne Garrett. 1-0. That's here at the top of the 7th, and that's chopped slowly to the second baseman Mazurowski, who charges it. Barehands it, throw to first, and just gets Garrett. Nice play by Bill Mazurowski, who's highly graded at second base. And here's Jerry Grody with 2 outs, and that's lifted. Can of corn in the left field. Left fielder Stargell. But the Mets pick up the first run of the game on the home run by Ron Swoboda. One thing I would love to write on these cards is, and of course I would, I hate to write on them, but I would write on them because I don't see myself ever getting rid of these anymore. There's like a few sets that I may just keep, but I would write like the stats to have some idea of the stats, or at least have a paper with some stats on them, just so I know what they did that year. I usually, this is the first game, but once I played for a while, I usually learn all that. And I memorize like all my players and what their stats are. So I haven't done that yet with this 1970 Mets. I am playing the 1970 Mets with my Back to Basic game. You guys got to check it out. $14.99. You get every single season. Plays very, very smoothly. The mechanics are great. Joe Bryant from Payoff Pitch had a big hand in that. I don't know how much, I may exaggerate when I say a big hand, but his name does come up there as a creator of that game. So I'm just giving you the heads up. So it's a good game. It comes from a guy that has a talent to create, easy, straightforward. Sometimes he's tempted by the devil. He is tempted by the devil at times to add little things and to add extra things, and because he wants to serve the community, and sometimes you got to have a little bit of a thick skin, and there's guys that always want a little extra. Oh, can't you do this? Or can't you add that? Can't you add the other? Can't you add? And they're all that way all the time. Sometimes you got to take things the way they are and embrace them and really love them. So let's see where we're at here. All right, bottom of the 7th, Al Oliver. He's a lefty from Portsmouth, Ohio. That's the great thing about APBA Basic. He's a fast player. He plays outfield and plays first base. Today he's at first base. He's a 3. Not really a good first baseman. Not really a good outfielder either. But he can hit. And here's the pitch, and that is ball 4. So Seaver, that's his second walk of the game. And the tying run is on first. And with a fast runner, we can try hit and run. And Ali has a lot of strikeouts. But he can, we're not going to try that with Ali because he has too many strikeouts. But we will try a bunt with Ali. Let's get our classic. This is the classic sacrifice booklet. Check this out. You needed a whole book for a bunt. Come on, dude. It's ridiculous. And that's a 12. A 25 is going to be a little ground ball that's popped up in front of the plate. Grody picks it up, actually catches it in midair, fires to first. Double play. Jerry Grody showing off the leather, flashing the leather for the crowd here in Pittsburgh. It's a 2-2-3 double play. And Seaver pats him on the back. Good job. Here's May, Jerry May. Jerry May is a catcher from Staunton, Virginia. I was there. I had a friend who went there for an interview to work in a radio in a radio station, Staunton. And I think they pronounce it Stanton. And I think I was going there and I said, oh, we're going to Staunton, Staunton, Staunton. When I got there, I think they said Stanton. We pronounce it Stanton here. You don't know what you're talking about. You're an outsider. And I was like, okay. Uh-oh. Jerry May gets a hold of the Seaver fastball, and he's going to drive it. And that's over the left fielder's head, off the bottom of the wall. And May is going to hustle into second base with a 2-out double. Second double off Seaver, Mazeroski. And we're going to walk Mazeroski. We walk Mazeroski, then we're going to have to bring a pinch hitter. And do I want to deal with a pinch hitter and then a new pitcher? Let me see who I got here to a new pitcher. Let me see. I know there's a couple of guys that I want to show you the cards I got from I bought these on eBay. They're pretty nice. They're thick. This cardboard is much thicker than the cardboard I use now. I use like real thin cardboard. This is probably 110 paper. And he actually made these extra players for me. And I'm fine with that. I don't care. And I know Hartenstein was in this game. I don't know if I have him. Let me see. That's the thing about APBA. You have to kind of Joe Gibbon, John Lamb, Burnett. Hartenstein may have been traded. I don't see Hartenstein. He's not in here. So it's another guy who was in this game. This is where it starts slowing up. Luke Walker. DeKalb, Texas. Dave Justy. We're going to bring Seneca Falls, New York. All right, we're going to bring in Dave Justy. So to pinch hit, we are bringing in Bob Robertson is a righty. Pagan is a righty. Sanguine is a righty. Got all righties on the bench. But it doesn't matter. We're going to bring in Joe Pagan. See, Joe Pagan comes in to pinch hit. So we're going to intentionally walk. Actually, you know what? By doing that, we're putting on the go-ahead run. We're going to pitch to Nebraska. We're not walking. All right, here goes. And that is a ground ball to shortstop. Easy play for Harrelson, and that retires the side. No runs, one hit, and Seaver's up. All right, so we're probably going to get a pinch hitter here in the bottom of the eighth. So we're going to let Blas go one. Steve Blas go one more inning. Tom Seaver's up. Here's the pitch. Ground ball, second base, Mazeroski. And he throws him out. Tommy Agee. Oh, it's a 41. Grounded to short. That's Alley. 2 down. And here's Buddy Harrelson, who's 1 for 3 today, and he flies one to center field. All right, bud. You're going in now. You're going in. You're going in. You're not interested in the game. I can see that. You don't care about the game. Be that way. Go inside. All right, go. Go inside. All right, I'm back. I am back. Harrison flies out to center, and now it's going to be a pinch hitter. We're going to go with Joe Pagan. Here's Seaver, and that's a 31 and a 9. Seaver now 7, 8th inning he becomes an A, so that's going to be an out. It's going to be a strikeout for Tom Terrific, because that's an advanced pitching, a basic advanced pitching rule. If a B pitcher goes 7 innings, he becomes an A. And all right, so that's 1 out, and now it's Matty Alou. That's a fly to right, and over Swoboda, and in the gap, runs it down. That's 2 down, and Swoboda's been the hero today with that home run. He's been the only run of the game. Hebner here with a pop-up to the third baseman. Foy, he's there, and makes the catch. No runs, no hits. We're in the top of the 9th, guys. Seaver's got a 2-hitter going, a 2-hit shutout. Now dog came back out. I don't understand that. All right. And we're going to get a new pitcher. Who's that going to be? Let's see. That's going to be, I said it was going to be Justy. Dave Justy. And he's there. Justy is going to be a DX. So he will get some extra strikeouts because he's an X, and I'll just put him on the side there. And here's a pitch to Ford, leading it off. He's 0 for 3, and that's a ground ball to the second baseman. Second baseman, Ozorowski. And that's an error. E4. All right. So we got a base runner, and he's fast. Foy is fast. He did steal like 30 bases the year before, and he has 211, so he stole a bunch of bases here. So here's Cleon Jones. Cleon Jones doesn't have a lot of strikeouts. They're going to hit and run. And a fly ball right field. Foy's going to have to go back. He went with the pitch. And now Shamsky. Here's a pitch, and that's a 26. That's a fly to right. Back is Clemente, Bobby Clemente. And here's Ron Swoboda. And he gets a hole and drives it deep the opposite field, deep to right field. But right there is, again, Clemente. 3 outs to right field. No runs, no hits, bottom of the ninth. Last licks. 1-0 Mets. Seaver with a 2-hitter. He's going to face Bobby Roberto Walker, Bob Clemente from Carolina, Puerto Rico. He died in a plane crash. I think it was New Year's or Christmas Day, taking supplies to the victims of a Nicaraguan earthquake. Bobby Clemente, a revered, iconic figure in Puerto Rico and probably in all of baseball, for any Latin American and probably for any true lover of our game. And I get chills when I play games with Bobby Clemente. It seems silly, but he was really a gentle giant person who cared for others. Bobby Clemente against Tom Terrific. What a matchup. I don't think you can get any better than this. Here he goes. And that is a potential error now. Center fielder is AG, who's a 2. And a 2 on a 53-16. A 16 is going to be a ball that AG makes the catch. So a little blooper that off the bat of Clemente, and AG came on and slid and made the catch. Great catch by Tommy AG in center to rob a hit from Bobby Clemente. Here's Willie Stargell. He's got good power. Oh, he swings and misses at a Seaver fastball. So the Pirates are down to their last out. Pirates are down to their last out. It's Al Oliver. He's a lefty. Portsmouth, Ohio. 6'1", 197. He's a bats left and throws left. And here goes. Here's Seaver. And the ball game is over. That is a strikeout. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strikeouts for Seaver. Seaver wins it. No runs, no hits. Great play by AG in that 9th inning. And the Mets win it by a score of 1-0. Mets, how many hits did the Mets have? They had 1, 2 hits for the Mets and 2 hits for the Pirates. This was a pitcher's duel, completely, without a doubt. It's a win for Seaver. He goes 9, allows 2 hits, strikes out 7. I believe he walked 2. He walked 1 there. And then he had another walk somewhere else, right, 1 there. And no runs, no earned runs, no home runs, no hit by pitch, no wild pitch. And he goes 1-0. Steve Blass he went 8. 2 hits, strikeouts, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 strikeouts. He walked 2. And 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 home run, no hit by pitch, no wild pitch, and he's 0-1 to start the season. And this is APBA. APBA basically plays very, very quickly, 35-minute game with a lot of talk, right? So the talking slows everything down. Because sometimes instead of rolling, you are. And I'm going to protect these cards. I may put them into these little baseball protective sleeves that I have. Basically the starters, the guys who play all the time. And it's easy to do with the 70s teams because pretty much the same guys always start. That's the cool thing about replaying games or learning games with 70s. You don't have to worry about a lot of substitutions. I really get frustrated, playing modern games where I have to have like a new pitcher every 2 innings or every inning. That's really a drag. I'm not enjoying it anymore, and I'm much enjoying the old school late '60s, early '70s, mid '70s games where pitchers pretty much went complete games. They were still pitching 250 to 300 innings. You had the same lineup day in and day out. There wasn't, a lot of lefty righty kind of matchups constantly and substitutions and that sort of thing. So I really enjoy the '70s games now, and I think a lot of guys are also turning to '70s, and I think that's having an influence on the value and on the prices of stuff like this. I know '70s. I bought a '70s set. Actually, I bought a '69, a '70, a '71, and a '72, and a '73 and a '74. It was in a big box. I had to put them all together. It was a nightmare. I bought it for $100. So I bought like 5 sets. So what was that? About $20 a season. And that was about, I think, 3 years ago. And I did spend like a month putting them all together because, I didn't know all the teams and all the players. And that's one thing about APBA. It doesn't tell you what team they're on. It doesn't say anywhere on this card what team he's on, right? It's like, okay, so then, you can know, but sometimes guys move from one year to year and you're like, wow, was he on this team still or was he moved? And then you got to look it up. And that took me forever. So it took me a month of, just a couple hours every week, maybe a couple of days of 2 or 3 hours each. And then by the end of the month, I had 5 sets for $100. I got a '69 complete. I think it was missing one team. Yeah, it was missing one team. And I was really, anyway, I had a '70 that was missing like one card, a '71 that was complete, a '72 that was complete. I think my '73 was missing a card, and then I had a '74. And then I had an '81. An '81. Yeah, I got a lot of stuff. It was just a mishmash of envelopes. So anyway, this is CP Cards and Dice. I hope you enjoyed the APBA Basic presentation. It's one of my favorite games. I truly enjoy this game. It's one of the first games I started playing. I played the 1976 Yankees when I lived in New York. I was a Yankee fan because my friend Victor down the block was a Yankee fan. He got me hooked on the Yankees, even though I lived not far from the Mets. But he was like, hey, the Yankees are the team to root for. So I said, okay, let me root for the. Later on, when my son was smaller, I started taking him to the Met games because it was down the street from where I lived. So then that's how we got into the Mets, and I'm a big Met fan now. And I go and I relive the '70s, the Met heyday pretty much, and sometimes the mid '80s as well. I'm not as big a fan of the Mets in the big '80s, in the mid '80s as I am of the early '70s. This is CP Cards and Dice. This is Cards and Dice TV. I hope you enjoyed the history. I hope you enjoyed the relaxation and the chit chat of our great hobby. And I see you soon, guys. Take care now. Thanks for APBA. Brian was here. Hey there, APBA Brian. He's got a beautiful show as well. He puts on a beautiful historical show. What he does, I play actual lineups, and he mixes teams from different eras and all that. So he's a little bit different than I am. I'm very, committed to this approach, historical, very clear, straight up historical approach. But he does talk about history, and he does play teams from the past, and he does do this as well. Not only the different teams from different eras. I think he does pick teams from the same era and replays World Series and stuff like that. That's APBA Brian, our Red Sox fan. Which he's a tremendous, hobby. And Mr. Molly from Great Britain. Thanks for stopping by. And I will see you guys very, very soon. This was a presentation of CP Cards and Dice APBA Basic, and I will be back today. I'm going to play another game in a little while. Take care, guys.